in that wild card round. We'll be talking about Love as the day goes on. Meantime, J.J. McCarthy back in the fold, hands off here. That's Jordan Mason back into the mix.
Today, a little bit different feel. He'll be playing against a lot of backups on this Green Bay defense.
McCarthy's going to go play action, climbs the pocket, throws a laser beam, and completes. That's his stud receiver, Justin Jefferson, who begins the day needing 53 yards.
Play fast, play with great fundamentals, and try to get after McCarthy.
3rd and 17. They get it to Jefferson, trying to get them in a much better field goal range, and that is mission accomplished.
And now they have to kick the field goal.
So here's Will Reichard, who has authored arguably the greatest kicker season by a kicker in franchise history. Beloved piece, 6 Pro Bowls, 2-time All-Pro. As good as any player of his generation. 2, it is lit up. Football comes loose. Packers recover with Drake Dabney, one of their call-ups this week. It was Dallas Turner. Where Jeff Hafley's defense is as they gear up for their playoff opener next week. McCarthy off balance throw, and he gets it to Justin Jefferson. But
thin outside at quarterback and needing some more playmaking ability up front, to me, is going to be the difference in the playoffs for this defense.
Boy, they get the push that they were looking for as Chandler is buried against this Brian Flores defense. It's a scary sight. Here they come. They rush 5. Toon gets it out in time, but they're going to be short. Jacoby Keeney-James starts to come into focus. A couple of days away from the dance getting started next weekend. McCarthy, boy, showing that elusivity. Gets it off, and it has a first down. It's Josh Oliver. Boy, impressive body movement by McCarthy in the face of pressure.
There is a lot that McCarthy has to do to continue to develop, but I don't think the story has been written on him yet.
Jefferson, and there it is. He makes the catch.
And what a great reward for him to get his 1,000 yards. That was an excellent, well-placed throw from McCarthy for him to get that.
Bullet pass, laser beam by McCarthy. Starting to our offseason plans. And in motion is Jefferson with McCarthy under center. There's some misdirection. They give it to Mason. Mason finds a crease. Going to get down inside the 10. I like when he takes that underneath stuff. That time didn't connect with his guy. McCarthy, back corner of the end zone for Jefferson. You know, Brian Flores not the only DC in this game whose name has been attached to potential head coaching openings. We've certainly seen through 2020. But, boy, if this is the end of the road for C.J. Ham, what a journey it's been. The 2-time Pro Bowler. As the Packers, Wilson running for his life, and boy, he's going the wrong way. Wilson,
he might get.
Oh my goodness! Improvement in his game every time he stepped on the field.
Just 10th game. I mean, it's just not a big sample size, and not. Is that
you don't appreciate that DB slander?
I don't like where you're going.
3rd and 8. How does McCarthy handle this? A little bit of pressure at the end. Delivers. First down. Vikings. Naylor. McCarthy, who has shown significant growth over his last 3. And as he finished here this first half, McCarthy trying to create some time, delivers perfectly. They actually put a second back on the clock, so 25 seconds, 2nd and goal. They got 1 timeout left. Ham, he's going to bulldoze his way in for the touchdown. It's going to be the question mark in Green Bay all this week as they begin playoff preparations in earnest as soon as they get on that airplane back home. This is Emmanuel Wilson churning out some yardage, going to get inside the Vikings' 40-yard line.
The injury to Jordan Reed. So there's a lot of different pieces that this offense has had to deal with, but I think Love has done it masterfully, and I can't wait to see them play and see him play in the playoffs next week.
McCarthy 13-22. In that first half for 174 yards. Quick strike. Justin Jefferson has been his main target. Which didn't see any contact there. Don't want to speculate, but obviously McCarthy in some kind of discomfort there. See him maybe flexing out that right hand. Aditi is always all over it for us down on the sidelines. We'll get a report from her and an update as quickly as we can. So here's Brosmer, the undrafted rookie, delivers to Jefferson. was going to be close to another first down.
And I know that he was really looking forward to hitting this offseason and having a full offseason with good health. So you can just focus on being playing quarterback and not worrying about the rehab process.
They make excuses for it in that wild card loss to the Eagles. But boy, you just would have liked to have had him healthy these last couple of weeks. Tune making a couple of guys miss.
They're going to bring everybody, or they have a variety of different zone coverages that they play behind it.
Tune, here they come, and he's blown up again. Theo Jackson.
You have to take the text. You have to find time to talk to potential offensive coordinator candidates, or you'll be behind.
Good completion here. Rest of our CBS crew, Happy New Year from Minneapolis. Max Brosmer on for J.J. McCarthy, who's questionable to return with that right hand injury. That is what we have been given by Aditi and the Vikings. Brosmer was sacked 7 times in that game. No turnovers. Put some air under it here on a comebacker. Ty Felton, and there's the flag. Here's John Hussey.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the same team. Illegal contact, defense, number 38. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, defense, number 38. That ball we place at spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
Now the team has had much success on 3rd down so far. Brosmer rolling out, completes to Scott. And it's going to be 1st and goal, Vikings. And now giving way to Max Brosmer, the undrafted rookie. 1st and goal, Brosmer from the 5. Boy, gets tripped up.
Uh-oh.
Did the officials whistle the play dead? No signal yet.
Well, it looked like he reverted back to college and thought when he was down.
Yeah, it was Justin Schoolarch who he got his feet tangled up with. Didn't look like a defensive player touched him. So that's a live football, and the recovery by Baron Sorrell, I beg your pardon. It was Cox who forced the fumble. Heady play by Cox, realizing that potentially it was a live play. So the call on the field is a fumble.
I can't quite remember a play like that happening before.
There's some bloopers right there. Blake Cashman coming in nearly untouched.
I think many coaches teach that way.
Well, he's right about that.
It is as unique a defensive system as there is, certainly the NFL. Emmanuel Wilson out of the backfield, and he's going to get brought down. Max Brosmer in relief, injury relief of J.J. McCarthy, right hand injury, as he has aggravated that injury that held him out last week. As the rest of this fourth quarter continues, 9 and change. Mason slips the initial tackle. Mason opens space into the second level. Who knows what that means for Pete Carroll? The speculation, rumors already running rampant. As Chandler finds a crease, breaks that first tackle, gets downhill. As they start to think about their postseason opponent next week. Out of the backfield, Chandler. And they're going to lose yardage here. So we mentioned either Chicago or Philly next week. And as we started to say earlier, Arch.
Just because you beat them once. You know, the second one you lost. But remember, Jordan Love didn't play for the majority of that football game.
All with this franchise. 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. People asking, is he a Hall of Famer? They certainly feel like he is in this city. All with this franchise. 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. People asking, is he a Hall of Famer? They certainly feel like he is in this. As everyone gears up for the rest of the day of action and the big Sunday nighter coming up to decide the AFC North. As Wilson.
It's the last week of the season because, you know, I love what we do and how we do it as a team. And, you know, it's.
Good snap, good hold, and the Packers are going to get on the board. 16-3, your final. As Matt LaFleur and his Packers will get on the plane and immediately begin preparations for their wild card game on the road next week.